on this episode of Inside the Blueprint. From an architect's perspective, having an exact 3D replica of a building as a reference can improve almost every aspect of the overall construction process. Today, we'll take a look at how 3D imaging is improving all aspects of construction and engineering with Contoured Inc. Understanding federal regulation is imperative when you produce a food or drug product. We'll sit down with the CEO of FDA Specialist to get a better understanding of what makes a product FDA compliant. Immersion cooling systems are truly a game changer when it comes to next-gen computing power, and we'll take a look at how TMGcore has redefined the high-density data center with innovative two-phase liquid immersion technology. This and much more today on Inside the Blueprint. For most of us, we're able to admire the beauty and awe of some of the most magnificent architecture in the world, only after the physical structure has actually been built. But from concept to completion is a long and tedious journey, and from an architectural perspective, having an exact, interactive 3D replica to reference for acquisition, design, and construction purposes is a complete game changer. Today, we'll take a deep dive into the world of 3D imaging and the process of creating a digital twin with Contoured Inc.
I'm Nate Olson, the CEO and founder of Contoured Inc. At Contoured, we really specialize in documenting and capturing the existing conditions of commercial real estate. So we go out, we have a bunch of really specialized equipment. We spend a lot of time on site and we capture a tremendous amount of information and data, which allows us to go back and create an exact digital replica of an existing property.
The term digital twin is buzzing around the design and construction community more and more, but what does it exactly mean?
So a digital twin is a virtual copy of an existing real-world object. A digital replica, if you will, of a building, of a process, and often it's a very precise, or can be a very precise model of that existing system or building. So a digital twin has a lot of different benefits depending on who the end user might be. So a lot of times somebody buying or acquiring a building, the building might be on the other side of the United States. With a digital twin or a replica of the building, they now don't have to go physically visit the building to do inspections, to see all the existing conditions. It's particularly helpful to a contractor or an architect who can really visualize what the building is like without being there. And a digital twin can be an extremely immersive experience. It's literally like walking through the building itself. You're able to see all the building systems. You're able to get a really good idea of what's there without physically being there.
Let's discuss what type of scanning and imaging technology is required to pull off such a massively detailed feat.
The terms that the industry uses in capturing all of this information is really called reality capture. And historically, this process has been very time-consuming and very expensive because of the amount of time and the amount of equipment that it would take to capture all the details necessary to create a digital twin. So what's awesome about in the last 10 years, this technology has really improved and come down in price. And one of the tools that we use actually captures 1 million measurements per second as we're moving through a building or through a facility. One of the advantages that gives us is we're able to capture a tremendous amount of detail at a large facility in a short period of time. So recently we were on site at a building in Orange County, about a 6-story, 150,000 square foot office building, to capture all the information to create a digital twin for this building. And historically, to capture the same amount of information that we can today, we could have been on site for a month or even longer. The new laser scanning technology allows us to capture all of these points of detail in really a single day.
There also must be some very strict standards of measurement that come along with these types of projects. What are some of the initiatives that set Contoured apart from other digital imaging companies?
So at Contoured, one of the biggest reasons in which we get hired by owners and operators of commercial real estate is to ensure that their buildings are measured to the highest standards. And the prevailing measurement standard in the industry is published by the Building Owners and Managers Association, otherwise known as BOMA, and they want to make sure that all buildings adhere to this strict standard of measurement. Square footage is the main currency for them in all of their leasing and construction activities. So at Contoured, our mission is really to build and facilitate trust among all of these parties in the commercial real estate and architectural engineering and construction world so that they can have accurate, defendable area calculations along with peace of mind knowing that the digital twins that we're providing, either in floor plans or 3D models, are super accurate and represent the true conditions that exist in the field.
So if you have a project that requires extensive architectural modeling, give the professionals at Contoured Inc. a call.
I mean, digital twins are really cool. Once we've captured a building, pulling it up on the screen and being able to immerse yourself in all of the details of that building without actually physically being there. It is so helpful to all of the professionals in the industry, across many industries. A single day of capture can be used by so many different people. With today's technology, it is done faster, more efficiently, at a lower cost than ever before.
For more information about Contoured Inc., visit their website at contoured.com. And of course, visit our website at insidetheblueprint.com. When it comes to food and drug compliance, we rely on the Food and Drug Administration to give their stamp of approval on goods that we deem safe for consumers. But how do distributors and manufacturers know that their products will be up to par with the FDA's requirements prior to an inspection? That's where FDA Specialist comes in.
My name is Richard Chang. I'm the founder and CEO of FDA Specialist. We're a consulting firm that assists companies in complying with FDA's laws and regulations. I formed my company back in 2016 after having worked for FDA for nearly 14 years. I became a consultant because I found that there was a real need for it by the industry. Back when I worked for FDA, unfortunately, we didn't have the time and the resources to provide the industry the guidance and help they needed, which is too bad because most of the time, most companies want to comply. Very few companies set out to intentionally circumvent or violate regulations. So as a consultant, I feel that I'm in the best possible position to be able to provide that help and guidance to the industry.
Regulation is an important part of every industry, and helping businesses understand whether they're compliant or not prior to an inspection is what makes a company like FDA Specialist so significant.
If there's one take-home message I hope the viewers do derive from this segment, it's to keep regulatory compliance in mind at the beginning and throughout your operations, and not to simply put it off at the end, assuming that the regulatory issues will address themselves. One of the biggest mistakes companies make is they're so focused on the marketing, the selling, that they don't keep the regulatory issues in mind, and then they find out a little too late that they can't do the things they wanted to do or have to do it in a way that's different than the way they intended. FDA Specialist is uniquely qualified to assist the industry because we worked at most of the major levels or components of the agency. We have boots on the ground experience in which we can give companies practical advice on how to prepare for FDA inspections. We worked at the headquarters level where policy and rulemaking occurs. So having that comprehensive, detailed understanding of FDA's processes really helps us to provide our clients with solutions to obtain the best possible outcomes. I myself started off as an FDA field investigator, meaning I was one of the persons that would go to the factories and actually inspect facility operations, and I collected samples for FDA lab testing. We reviewed imported shipments to determine what products could come into the country. So we have that real boots on the ground kind of experience to be able to assist our clients, because not only is it a matter of simply understanding the requirements, it's also understanding what investigators look for, what are their preferences. It's a matter of being able to help our clients be able to facilitate the inspection so they go as smoothly and quickly and as painlessly as possible.
Since we're discussing staying in line with FDA requirements, it's important to know what some of those requirements are to better understand how FDA Specialist helps keep companies on track.
Well, FDA's requirements vary depending on the regulated commodity type. But generally, the requirements are, of course, the products must be safe for the consumer, they should be effective, the labeling should be truthful and not misleading, they should bear the appropriate information so that consumers can make an educated decision about whether they should use your product, and if necessary, how to use your product correctly. And of course, products should be manufactured under sanitary, safe, and hygienic conditions to ensure that they are not contaminated by filth or harmful substances. And there are several actions FDA can take against companies, products, and individuals for violating FDA's regulations. For example, FDA can issue warning letters to companies. They can have their products seized by court order, and they could also have the courts order an injunction against the firm, meaning that the courts will order them to cease certain operations. And they can even have individuals criminally prosecuted if they deem them to have committed a prohibited act.
The FDA regulates more than just food and drugs. Let's talk about some of the other areas the FDA oversees.
Well, the name Food and Drug Administration can be confusing because FDA regulates far more than just foods and drugs. FDA regulates cosmetics, medical devices, biologics such as vaccines, electronic products that emit radiation, and even tobacco products. So one of the first steps a company may need to make is to determine whether FDA regulates a product. And that may not be as easy as it may first sound. For example, FDA regulates some foods, but the United States Department of Agriculture, or USDA, regulates other foods. So one of the first steps, again, is to ensure which agency regulates your product so you can determine what the requirements are.
So if you have a business that requires FDA approval, let FDA Specialist help to make sure you don't have any issues with the approval process.
I'll circle back to the take-home message I mentioned earlier, which is to keep regulatory compliance in mind at the beginning and throughout your operations to avoid any possible costly interruptions to your business.
For more information about FDA Specialist, visit their website at fdaspecialist.com. And of course, visit our website at insidetheblueprint.com.
Things are big in Texas. Located 30 minutes north of downtown Dallas, one high-tech company remains true to those values. TMGcore. This head-turning 150,000 square foot facility provides big solutions and big value to both American and global enterprises.
Here at TMGcore's state-of-the-art facility in Plano, Texas, we have the best in innovation. Our immersion labs, our large space, our 110 megawatt capability is where we bring our customers and our partners in every day to innovate the best-in-class technologies that exist today.
And while big is part of this state's legacy, so too is the impression that TMGcore has made with its revolutionary suite of data center platforms. Known as Auto, high-density data centers designed with innovative two-phase liquid immersion cooling technology, these cutting-edge platforms feature vastly smaller footprints, increased compute densities, providing capabilities that stretch way beyond the threshold of traditional, less efficient air-cooled deployments.
We're able to outperform today's air-cooled technologies by utilizing liquid. Liquid is exponentially better at transferring heat from one object to another. So if you combine that with our automation, our robotics, and the Hydroblade form factor, it enables efficiencies and densities that are simply unmatched by today's air-cooled technology.
Auto provides lower operating and maintenance costs, including far less energy requirements. The bottom line, bigger savings, bigger, better performance, deployed by liquid immersion two-phased infrastructure with unprecedented densities to the enterprise and beyond.
With TMGcore's two-phase immersion technology, we're not as reliant on cooling. It allows us to optimize and pick the best location in a community where we can offer a high-performing, low-cost solution in an optimum location. And that's a huge advantage when we talk about not only the performance, but the cost to deliver that performance if we can eliminate and lower one of the cost elements in delivering a data center solution.
Boasting full, high-performance compute data centers in nearly every location up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, in spaces as small as 25 square feet, Auto is the kind of market-leading performance TMGcore is excited to share.
There are numerous value propositions to an Auto deployment. 50% less capital expenditures, 60 to 80% less operational expenditures, and more than 90% less floor space needed to deploy the technology. Not to mention we're 4,000 times more efficient than air. To paint a picture, I'm standing in 130,000 square feet of raw data center shell. A typical air deployment would deploy 20 megawatts into this shell, and the best-in-class air design will be at a PUE of 1.25. By that I mean 25% of that 20 megawatts coming in will go to things that aren't compute, so only 15 megawatts is usable. On the flip side, we would deploy 86 megawatts of Auto technology in the same space at a world-class PUE of 1.03. By that I mean 97% of that 86 megawatts is going towards compute, which would mean 83.5 megawatts. 15 megawatts versus 83.5 megawatts. An Auto deployment provides a quantum leap in efficiencies that allows the chip manufacturers at the hardware level to design not based upon the constraints of air, liquid to chip, or single phase, but really on the constraints of their imagination.
When you look to the future and you think about IoT applications, when you think about artificial intelligence, when you think about the mass deployment of 5G, and you really begin to think about those latency-sensitive use cases that really are going to drive the need for that local edge data center and the need for high-powered compute, high-powered storage, and high-power processing, that's the advantage of TMGcore.
Discover how TMGcore's two-phase liquid immersion cooling data center technology can benefit your enterprise. Visit them at tmgcore.com. Given today's competitive job market, lots of different opportunities exist. Sometimes overlooked are the abundant career opportunities in specialized trades. As the cost of earning a traditional college degree continues to escalate, with many grads facing sky-high college debt and uncertain job prospects, today's trade school graduates are reaping the benefits of not just plentiful job opportunities, but generous incomes and long-term security.
Working in the trades today is extremely important, whether it's going to a trade school or a junior college to get certified. If you think about it, you can come to work, get to go to a school, get certified within 6 months, 2 years, you can come to work, get into the economy, and go from there and really build a career. Reliance Steel and Aluminum is a Fortune 500 company. We've been around since 1939. We're actually a metals solution provider. We operate in the United States and 13 other countries around the world. And we've been mentioned in Fortune 500 magazine as one of the world's most admired companies. It's a really fine place to work, and it's a place you can come and build a career. It's the kind of company I would like my kids to work in, because you can come to work and build a career, and there's many opportunities.
Founded in 1939 and ranked as one of the world's most admired companies, Reliance Steel and Aluminum Company is a leading global diversified metal solutions provider and the largest metals service center in North America. Operating as a family of companies under more than 75 different brand names, Reliance has a network of 300-plus locations in 40 states and 13 countries.
Driving for Crest Steel has been rewarding. It's offered me the opportunity to advance my skill set. It's just offered the opportunity for me to grow with the company. I've been doing this for 25 plus years, and it's a great company to work for.
There's a lot of opportunities for growth, and if you need at some time to move to another part of the company, we're nationwide. So you could always come, you're gonna have somewhere to go. I've really, really enjoyed working for Reliance.
I think it's really good to start a career here. I know college isn't always the easiest thing to do, and money isn't always easy. There's a lot of jobs that aren't very stable, and this company, it's been really great to me. I honestly would say that I'd recommend it for other people, even if they're in college or if they're not in college.
You want to be part of something, build something, come work for Reliance Steel, an employer that cares about your safety and puts employee first. Above all, come work for Reliance Aluminum. If you're willing to work and you're willing to learn, you're going to advance in this company.
We go above and beyond for what we do, and we take care of each other and make sure everybody's safe in the environment we work in. Working for Reliance Steel is a great opportunity to get you going, and I would tell a young person, if you want to work for a company like this, it's a great company to work for, and you can move up for, whatever you want to do there.
Making worker safety a top priority is front and center at the nation's best industrial companies. Reliance Steel and Aluminum Company is leading the way.
Our Reliance CEO, Jim Hoffman, and the Reliance safety team have built a culture foundation on safety, personal relationships. And what that is that if we know a little bit more about our employees on a personal level, then we're more apt to look after them and make sure that they go home well at the end of the day. If I know you have family members that depend on you, then I know that you need to be there for them, and therefore I need to look out for your safety.
The company is run on a couple of things. First and foremost, the safety of our people. We do the right things. We care about our people, and integrity really matters at our company. So if you're the kind of person that wants to come to work in a good industry and build a career, this is a really good, fine place to work.
If you're considering a career as a skilled tradesperson and desire joining a world-class company in your state or another, discover more at rsac.com/careers. The electrical construction industry is constantly evolving. That's why, more than ever, it's paramount to have the most highly trained and reliable workforce in the electrical construction industry.
With the new technologies that are coming out, we're getting into security, where you got motion and wireless and video feedback. We do 5G wiring. Every 5 years, opportunities out there for electrical contracting keeps continuing to change because of trying to keep up with technology.
The National Electric Contractors Association, or NECA for short, has been setting the standard for traditional and integrated electrical systems since the turn of the 20th century.
What NECA offers to the electrical construction industry is education. It's leadership. It's the labor relations with field forces, working with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. It's advocacy on Capitol Hill. It's the latest development of technology through our research.
NECA is made up of 118 individual chapters across the country, and in these chapters there's over 4,000 member contractors that are in this. They operate independently, but they're under the whole umbrella as NECA National.
The majority of NECA contractors are small businesses, and some have been in the same family for multiple generations.
Personally got into the electrical contractors business after I got out of college, joined the company. It is a family-owned business. We'll be 100 years old, and it started in 1922. We became a member of NECA in 1923.
The industry that we serve is for anyone, no matter where you at, the ethnic background, educational background, there is a place for you in this industry.
You can find NECA contractors all over. NECA has contractors that do work from a small residential all the way up to power plants, to water treatment plants, sewer treatment plants, highway work, power line work, and even 5G infrastructure throughout the country. New technology makes our contractors be more efficient, safer, and competitive.
But technological advances are not the only thing that NECA is constantly investing in.
We have educational platforms at all levels in our industry, starting at entry-level electrical worker to line worker, every aspect. We have joint training programs between ourselves and the IBEW that can take a person who doesn't know anything about the electrical industry and give them a wonderful career with an educational background that will help them be successful for their family. And then you move into the management ranks, and our contractors across America provide educational platforms. If a person wants to come and have a career, the cost of their career is almost zero.
With several programs and events, NECA strives for innovation in many different ways.
So let's talk about the pillars of innovation, the pillars of people, which I think is the most important aspect of any organization, is that when you are taking the time to understand and invest in your people, that is critical to all that we do. And then from there, it leads into a culture that exists. And when you talk about the culture, an engaging culture, that engaging culture says that we're not just sitting around in our desks, we're getting out, getting into people and making sure we understand what our membership wants. And the awareness aspect of it is that we've got to be aware of our environment. From an innovation perspective, if you're aware of an environment, this allows you to be adaptable. This allows you to change when you need to change. And from a diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging perspective, these pillars fit right into, because it shows that you care about what's going on. You're responding to those different things and elements in our society.
We here at NECA create the best people in all aspects of the industry. From leaders through our education and innovation programs to workers through our comprehensive training program.
For more information about how NECA is innovating the electrical industry, visit NECAnet.org. And of course, you can find us at InsideTheBlueprint.com. Thanks for watching Inside the Blueprint. For more information on any of the products you saw today, or to find out how to become part of the show, please visit InsideTheBlueprint.com.